We used to open with one. My old Mac, he's over there crying like.
It's tough when you squall when you're old, you know. Van, you're pretty, darling. That's my wife he's talking about. I know who she is.
Yeah, you even recognize her every once in a while, don't you? Bless his heart, he knew who she was tonight, you know. Most nights he'd go around saying, where's my wife? Where's my...
Love is love, step into the water, wade out a little bit deeper, come joining us singing praises to the Lamb of God.
Glenn, are you glad to see the old man tonight, ladies and gentlemen?
And that song was the first song that I'd ever written.
First time I heard this young man sing here, I heard him on tape before I ever saw him. And I said, man, what a voice. What a voice. And he was with the Dumpling Valley Boys. Well, Glenn and I got in touch with him, and we hired him. Well, my daughter's sitting down here on the front row, Dana and Tara and Gina. When we hired him, Dana was living in Marietta, Georgia. And so I told Clara, I said, we hired Gerald Wolf with the Dumpling Valley Boys. And Dana called home to talk to Mom, Clara, to see who we'd hired. And she said, who did they hire? And Clara said, I don't know, somebody from the Apple Dumpling Gang. That's exactly what she said. And Dana said, Mom, Apple Dumpling Gang.
I'd like to apply for a tenor job, y'all. And they say that no tear eat your heart out, Bobby.
We went to London, England, and Gerald went with us. We recorded an album for the London Philharmonic Orchestra. And Gerald, remember this. While we were recording with them about 4 days over there, we'd rehearse with them. And then they'd say, let's break for a spot of tea. And when they'd say, let's break for a spot of tea, we'd open up our can of Lux pinto beans, man. We took them in. Somewhere in our program back in those days, we was doing an old song called "The Rainbow of Love." Now we couldn't figure out which key to do it in today.
It don't make no difference.
just pick one. It ain't no telling what might happen.
Hey George, just a second before you go on here. Everybody's got to say something. I just had something on my heart I've got to share. I don't know if I've told you and Glenn this or not, but all these guys, you guys were their heroes. And growing up, you were my heroes too. I remember when I grew up in a little town called Strawberry, Arkansas. And all of my friends, thank you very much, Strawberry. All of my friends, they loved sports heroes. They were into sports. The Los Angeles Lakers, Wilt Chamberlain, Jerry West, all those guys. Not me, buddy. My heroes were George Johnson, Glenn Payne. Wanted to be y'all.
Bless your heart, buddy.
I'd sit at the piano and play Cathedal quartet tapes and play along with it and imagine myself there. I'd mow the yard and imagine the bus coming around the corner and asking me if I wanted to play with them. I've been with them now 14 years. My heroes are Jerry West and Wilt Chamberlain and all those guys. I just kind of felt like it's time for something a little spiritual right along in there, George. Really blessed me.
Well, I tell you what, you had me hooked there, Roger.
I tell you, a little gray on the roof don't mean there ain't no fire in the furnace.
I'll never forget, Danny, let me just touch you. I'll never forget the first time I heard this young man sing this next song. I had myself a running spell. We want to do this with a soundtrack. We had some girls up in Cincinnati, Ohio, who come in and did some background singing for us. And
And there's a whole lot better looking than we are.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Well, most everybody is, you know. Well, did we figure out a key to do it in?
It don't make no difference. Put it in B and we'll be flatted.
You know what? Danny's from North Carolina. I'm from North Carolina. Scott's. What's your name?
What's your name? That boy right here.
God love your heart. He said that you were getting like him. Now I believe it.
Yeah, but his mind comes and goes, and
Mine went.
and talking about his wife. Glenn's wife walked in the house the other night, and she said, "Honey, I think there's water in the carburetor." And Glenn said, "Water in the carburetor?" Said, "You don't know the carburetor from the steering wheel." So where's the car? She said, "In the swimming pool." Since his wife is sitting down here, it always reminds me every time the other night she's making a cake. And she ran out of milk, and she late at night. There's an all-night store open down there, and she said, "Honey, run and get me a quart of milk." And it stays open all night, and it's late. Glenn, off the cats, took off, didn't take his billfold, no identification. On the way back, they was having a routine traffic check, just checking license. And Glenn didn't have his billfold with him, no driver's license. The patrolman talked to him a while, and finally the patrolman said, "Sir, do you have any ID?" And Glenn said, "About what?" Glenn just had a birthday a few days ago. We all got to go to Glenn's birthday party. You talk about candles. I've never seen him. He tried to blow them out, but the heat kept driving him back, you know. On the way down here last night, Ernie and Scott was teasing Glenn. They was giving him words to spell that they're not spelled like they sound like they are. And Glenn didn't get one of them right. He missed every word they get. Right before Ernie went to bed, Ernie said, "Okay, Glenn," said, "how do you spell Mississippi?" And Glenn said, "You ain't gonna fool me on that." And said, "You talking about the river or the state?" I love old people.